So here we have our salt beef and mutton. It is being scalded. I'm going to bring it to a boil and then let it scald for about 30 seconds, cut it off. We have to make sure we keep our things sanitary. We have our peas over there that boil up, you know. I wait for it to float up and then we sink our peas. We have this, our pumpkin. We're going to add that to the peas because we want our pumpkin to be creamed out. I want it to be as creamed as possible. I'm not a fan of pumpkin, so I like to cream it in the soup. So that'll go on. Alright people, so our peas, it already floats, so we're going to add cold water to it. So basically when you add a cold water, like you see, they have now sunken to the bottom. The done thing, the goat and the beef, it done scald off, so we're going to take off that. We're going to add it, we're going to add the scald meat to the pot. We're going to rinse it off in a little bit, so we're going to add our pumpkin. So alright people, this is what we take off. I don't like to see it float up in my soup, so I ensure that I take it out. Let me move this from out of the sink. That's the remainder of the goat. I'm going to move it out of the sink. Put it away. I'm going to clean it also and put it in the fridge because I don't put unseasoned meat in my fridge. So I remove the residue that had flowed to the top, and basically I'm going to pour off the hot water and then rinse it with some cold water. So this is my goat and beef that I'm washing, and this is the third time I'm washing it. And if you notice, a small amount of residue still floating to the top. This is what I try to remove from my meat. I don't want it in my soup, so I remove it from it. So we have our pumpkin in. We're gonna add our carrots. Now your carrots, the amount of vegetable you add to it is basically up to your liking, and so I'm adding my carrot and 3 pegs of garlic, and again your garlic go to your taste. I like the garlic, a lot of garlic, because I like the medicinal properties of garlic, and it brings out the flavor, added flavor to your meal. So I put a lot of garlic. So I have my garlic in that. I have so I have my peas in, my mutton in. I have 2 pieces of cow foot, some salt beef in it, everything. So I'm going to cover that now and make it pressure for about 20 minutes, and then I'm going to add the other starch to it. Alright, so we have our pressure pot here doing its thing. Like I said before, 20 minutes and it should be ready. Meanwhile, that is being done. I've diced my yam, a bit of yam and sweet potato and our corn, and we put them in a little bit of lemon water so that to keep its color. We don't want them to go dark. And then I'm getting ready to do my dough. So in the container I have about a cup of dough, and I'm gonna add about a 1/4 cup of cornmeal to it. It's basically how you like your dough. If you like a lot of cornmeal, fine. If you prefer a different type of dough, it's still fine, but it is plain all-purpose flour. We have cornmeal, and I'm going to add a pinch of salt. Well, I've been doing this a long time, so I just judge the amount of water to add to my dough, and in about a minute it will be finished. Actually, it took me like about 30 seconds to get my dough. I'm just putting it together, rubbing all the flour, the dry flour, into the liquid, and there is my dough. Now the consistency of your dough is really up to you. If you like a firm dough, then you know you're going to use a smaller amount of water. If you like your dough to be nice and relaxed, then you would use more water. I'm going to let it sit there for a little bit, well, until the pressure pot is finished. And that would make all my dough. I will get an even consistency of dough. I will show you in a little bit, and you see exactly what I'm talking about. So our 20 minutes has elapsed, and we're going to take our time and release the steam from our pressure pot. So basically just put something underneath the pressure to release the steam. And to reduce its intensity, we're just going to add some cold water to it. And yeah, we got a big flurry of steam going on right now. And if only you could smell the flavor coming from the pot. It's awesome, I tell you. Right? So our steam has fully released. So we're going to open our pot. Now this, be careful when you're opening your pressure pot. Make sure that there is no fizzy sound coming from it. Your steam has released. And you're going to test it. If it still feels hard to open, do not force it to open. So, you know, some steam still left in it. So we're giving it some more time to release. Alright, so it's ready. So we turn off our water. And I'm just going to let you see what's going on in this pot of awesomeness. Look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that lovely, people? So basically what I'm doing, I'm using my spoon to crush some of my pumpkin. I don't really like my whole pumpkin bits, and although it has been diced, it has not been fully crushed or disintegrated. So I am basically using the spoon to get some of the whole pieces crushed. Alright, so our pot is going on good. So we see it has been cooking for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes at most. I wasn't timing it. So we're gonna add our bits of sweet potato and yam. I'm just adding them because they're gonna take like about 5 minutes to cook. And while they are being cooked, I'm gonna add my, voila, it's the ram goat soup. Not only am I gonna add that, I'm gonna add my cock soup, and also I'm gonna add some coconut milk, and to that also I'm gonna add my scallion, my thyme, pimento, some chicken spice, some garlic powder, and of course my scotch bonnet pepper. Okay, so for all who know about that thing, yeah, we're already adding all our season them. We're adding the yam. Let me say it will take about 5 minutes to do, cook. So basically I've added everything to it, and I'm gonna lower my flame, and I'm gonna just allow it to do its thing, allow it to sit there for about 10 to 15 minutes more, just to let the flavor combine. And I eat that, people. So after boiling 4 or 5 minutes, I will add margarine to mine. You can choose to use butter, you can choose whatever you like, but I just add some margarine to mine. And then I'm going to turn off the flame, let it stay there for a little minute so the margarine melts into the soup and I get the flavor from it. And this is smelling good, and it is looking good. Oh my lord, this is what I'm talking about. Ram goat liver make. Ram goat liver good for make manish water. Alright people, that's it. That's what your goat soup looks like. Boy, all this need is now your teeth and your tongue, and trust me, that's it, walking in my mother's shoes.